Thanks for joining us. Yep, another hot one here today on this Thursday. It is 6 a.m. now. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Vanessa Paz in for Netta. Let's go ahead and toss it over to meteorologist Evan Irani with a look at your forecast. I can feel the heat just compounding day by day.
It feels like I'm a broken record.
Stifling.
Every single day has been
March.
almost identical, honestly, on our coastal and inland valley heat. Today and tomorrow could be our hottest days for the mountains and deserts.
Wow.
We expect our local deserts to maybe make it all the way up to 107 by tomorrow afternoon. This afternoon, about 105. Out along the coast, a little bit of fog. That's the main difference to start off our Thursday morning here. 82 out by the coast, 96 across our inland valleys. Again, these have been in play all week long, but still important to know that that heat advisory stays in effect until 8 p.m. on Friday. An extreme heat warning out toward our desert stays in effect a little bit longer. It's Saturday at 8 p.m., so just an extra 24 hours. The emphasis here is to just limit the amount of time you're spending outside doing strenuous activity. If you can, find a place to seek AC or shade at the very least, and please make sure that the pets are doing the same. Coming up, we'll talk about a little bit of relief that we're going to get as we get into the beginning of next week, you could say. It's just not going to be all that much relief. So find out how much we're talking in that 7-day forecast in just a few. Back to you.
Thank you, Evan. This morning, local leaders are responding to bombshell sexual abuse allegations against labor rights leader Cesar Chavez.
News 8's Tori Apodaca live at Southwestern College with a reaction to this. And Tori, an event honoring Chavez was supposed to take place there today.
That's right. It was the 19th annual scholarship breakfast and United Farm Workers flag raising that was canceled today, as they have just been learning more about these developments, and so many just shocked by them. But Southwestern College, they did post about this on Instagram just a few hours ago, this event that typically honors Cesar Chavez, the late farm worker who became a national civil rights icon, who is now being accused of sexually abusing and grooming girls for years during the 1970s. Among those, the nearly 96-year-old Dolores Huerta, the labor activist who organized the United Farm Workers alongside Cesar Chavez. She is speaking out, accusing Chavez of forcing her to have sex with him, saying she gave birth to two of the labor leaders' children in secret. The serious allegations, heartbreaking for communities whose history is connected to the movement.
Deeply just horrified and hurt. Any movement is much larger than any particular leader, icon, symbol, representative, and so on and so forth, and that all of these folks need to be held accountable just as the rest of us do.
Now, Southwestern College's governing board president posted this letter saying that campus leaders are discussing the renaming of the Student Services Building that is named in Cesar Chavez's honor. And in that post also left some resources for survivors who may need support. And of course, Chavez's name and image appears throughout San Diego on multiple institutions, from schools to streets to park murals, and other local leaders are now reconsidering making changes. And with Cesar Chavez Day just a few days away on March 31st, there are so many different events that usually happen during this time. So now a lot of local leaders and communities just kind of reconsidering what the next best steps are in all of this. Reporting from Chula Vista, Tori Apodaca, News 8.
Tori, thank you. This morning, ongoing questions about the beginnings of the U.S.-Israeli war with Iran. President Trump's top security officials were pressed by lawmakers on some of the claims from within the administration in their first hearing since the war began.
This comes as President Trump is now threatening to strike an important energy site in Iran after an Iranian retaliation hit a gas facility in Qatar. CBS News' Jarrett Hill is following the latest developments.
As attacks on energy in the Gulf take center stage in the war with Iran, this morning the Secretary of Defense with an update.
As I've said from day one, our capabilities continue to build, Iran's continue to degrade.
Overnight, President Trump threatened to blow up a key Iranian gas field if Tehran continues attacks on a liquid natural gas hub in Qatar. Iran says the attack was in retaliation to Israel's strikes on its gas field. Trump posting the U.S. knew nothing about the strike. Iran has begun to use cluster bombs in attacking Israel after the country admitted to killing several high-profile Iranians.
The regime in Iran appears to be intact but largely degraded.
Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard told senators that Iran's nuclear capabilities had been obliterated in last summer's strikes, as the Trump administration says Iran posed an imminent nuclear threat at the start of this war.
It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat.
It is precisely your responsibility.
This one day after top Trump counterterrorism advisor Joe Kent resigned, claiming Iran did not pose an imminent threat.
I think Iran has been a constant threat.
Wednesday, President Trump attended the dignified transfer of 6 U.S. service members killed in the tanker crash in Iraq last week. Sources tell CBS News he has yet to decide whether to send Americans into Iran to seize its nuclear materials. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Yesterday, the Senate again defeated a war powers resolution aimed at reining in President Trump's ability to wage war on Iran without consulting Congress first. Pennsylvania Democrat John Fetterman joined the Republicans in blocking the measure, while Kentucky Republican Rand Paul sided with the Democrats to support it. Well, as gas prices continue to rise due to the war in Iran, MTS here locally has launched a new tool to show how much you could save by using public transit.
News 8's Chris Grow is live in studio working for you to figure out how this all works. Hey, Chris.
Of course, it matters where you live, where you commute to, but I did this for me. And yeah, if I were to go ahead and take the MTS bus down here to KFMB, I would be saving myself some money. So let's go ahead and throw what is the gas prices here in San Diego County. You can see $5.69. That's a 5-cent increase from overnight. But let's go back to the day before the war, $4.67. So yes, we are seeing more than a $1 increase here with no end in sight. Now let's show you this calculator that we've been talking about. MTS encouraging folks to go ahead and use public transportation. I went ahead and typed in how many miles I drive on my one-way commute to work, 10 miles. Average number of commuter days per week, going to be 5. Yeah, we work Monday through Friday. Average miles per gallon, about 32 on the Jetta. You go ahead and you calculate that, and you'll see it's saying that on the daily I spend about $15 to go ahead and drive, but I would only spend $6 with unlimited rides with MTS. Now, again, of course, this is all going to matter based on where it is that you live in proximity to MTS, either being trolley and or a bus station, and what the commute could be to maybe a park-in ride where then you can catch an MTS bus. All of this has to be taken into consideration, but the way that gas prices are going, it might make more sense for folks to go ahead and take public transportation. Now, of course, we are going to be doing a lot to make sure that you're aware of the resources that you have. So back here in studio, let you know, CBS8.com, you can find the latest gas prices there, including where some of the cheaper options are. And then, of course, we'll link this calculator there as well, too, so you know where to access it. Eric and Vanessa?
Good breakdown. Thank you, Chris. If you need help trying to find the least expensive gas, we are always working for you. Just go ahead and text the word gas to the number on your screen, 858-571-8888, and then we'll send you a link to a map with the lowest gas prices in your area.
Meanwhile, in Sacramento, a proposal trying to bring immediate relief for you at the gas pump failed to pass a state Senate committee. The Gas Tax Relief Act would have temporarily suspended several taxes at the pump, including the 61-cent per gallon gas tax, the highest in the nation. In total, Senator Tony Strickland says his bill would save drivers a total of $1.08 per gallon.
We have an update on a story that we brought you yesterday morning. An effort to protect free parking at city beaches could soon go before voters. A city council committee has given initial approval to a proposed ballot measure that would lock in free beach and bay parking into city code. That means only voters could change it in the future. Councilmember Raul Campillo proposed it in the wake of controversy over parking fees at Balboa Park. Excuse me, the measure still needs a second committee vote before heading to the full council and potentially November's ballots. Well, the San Diego State's women's basketball team is getting ready to play in the Women's Basketball Invitation Tournament later today.
Yeah, they will play UC Irvine at 6 p.m. And this follows their great regular season, which capped off with a share of the Mountain West title. but they didn't make it to the NCAA tournament after losing to Air Force early in the Mountain West tournament. And a quick programming note here, you can watch our 11 a.m. and noon newscasts today on the CW San Diego and the CBS 8 app. The first round of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championships will be airing right here on CBS during that time. Right now, we have everything you need to know about March Madness on our CBS 8 app, including gambling dangers, ticket scams, and taxes. You can stream our March Madness special anytime on your own time. Just download the CBS 8 app and watch for free. Yep, filled out the bracket, did the auto thing, where it just fills it out for you, and then I changed the ones where I was feeling, an underdog.
So I could do the auto. Is it like a quick pick?
Oh yeah, it picks everything for you.
Oh, I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, well, it's usually just the higher seed, but we always know it's not always the higher seed that wins.
Right, got it.
So.
Well, I always feel like the auto option would be them selecting the higher seed.
Right.
Got it.
You got to go in and, maybe it's your own college, you want to nudge up a little bit.
There's always an upset, I feel like every year, we get a couple of those upsets.
And it's so funny, those who know nothing about basketball and again, just do like the auto thing or whatever, they're the ones who always win. It feels like.
I mean, that's the thing, there's so many brackets, right? One of them is bound to be close. But like we mentioned earlier, you don't have a great probability of having a perfect pick. But still, right? Just try it out, see what you get. Take a look at visibility out the door right now. It's an issue in Coronado as well as downtown San Diego. Brownfield's at about 2.5 miles. Aside from that, from Kearney Mesa all the way up to our border with Orange County, we are looking good right now. Ridge of high pressure sits overhead. It is just the dominating ridge of high pressure that has been bringing us record-breaking temperatures day over day. We're going to keep seeing those temperatures warm up this afternoon and tomorrow, in particular toward our local mountains and deserts. More record breakers on our daily temperature records. We've been breaking daily temperature records in about a dozen cities a day, but the one part of the forecast that's been a little bit more uncertain that we have now seen come to fruition is hottest temperatures recorded in the month of March. That's happened at Lake Cuyamaca, Alpine, plenty of spots, about 4 different spots in the county. So we'll see if we do so again this afternoon. We're going to be watching for temperatures to range between about 20 and 30 degrees above average. We start to see a bit of cooling that takes us back down to about 10 to 20 degrees above average by the weekend. So while we do see this ridge kind of diminishing a bit into the weekend and early next week, it's still going to keep us in the above average range. It's just not going to take us back to normal. When we look at your high temperatures today, we've got 80s in San Diego, 90 for Vegas and Phoenix. A lot of the, I'd say, western U.S., western half of the country has started to see more widespread warming over the last couple days thanks to that ridge. As we get past Friday, this is El Cajon, for example, we slide back down to about 90 degrees by Saturday, and then all the way through the middle of next week. Might jump back to the low 90s, but still staying cooler than where we are today and tomorrow. Let's take a look at how things are on our roads this morning. So far, drive times are not looking too bad. Want to take you first off to the yellow on the screen here. That's the spot where we could be watching for some slightly slower speeds thanks to, of course, limited visibility. So that yellow there showing where fog could be an issue. Want to take you to a surface street crash that could be causing some delays. This is at Paradise Valley Road. It's blocking the right-hand shoulder in La Presa, so could be watching for some minor delays. Earlier, we had a stalled vehicle in La Jolla on the 5 connector to the eastbound 52. That is also cleared this morning. As far as drive times go, 805 northbound, San Ysidro to the 94 looking good. 5 northbound from the 54 to the 8. Also pretty smooth, mid 60 mile per hour speeds. Quite slow on the Coronado Bridge from downtown into Coronado. There are a lot of people trying to get onto base, but be aware that it could take a little longer than usual. It's going to be an 8-minute commute across the bridge as we start off today. Let's take a look at your border wait times, where it is a 100-minute wait at the San Ysidro Port of Entry. Otay Mesa Port of Entry is going to run you about 90 minutes.